Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Marina. I am a certified lash tech based in Toronto, Canada, and I like making lash extension videos. And before I start all my videos, I'd like to just put out there that everything I'm sharing with you guys is completely subjective to the techniques and methods that I like and that work for me. I urge everybody to go ahead and continue learning from different sources because everybody kind of has different techniques when it comes to applying lash extensions. I'm just trying to create an avenue of learning, so hopefully you will be able to take something away from this video and in some way I could help. So today I'm going to be focusing on doing a hybrid strip lash look. This set is very clean and it's supposed to emulate like a falsie lash, but I wanted to kind of go back and look at my work and see maybe something I would do differently, because like all of you, I'm still learning and I'm still altering different techniques and methods, and that is why I make these videos, so that I can also learn from them as well, because sometimes the set might not turn out the way I envisioned it in my head, and therefore I would adjust my methods and go about it differently in the future with different clients or even the same clients. So what I'm gonna do with this video is basically critique my own work and change certain things that I might do in the future, just because I am very proud of this set. It turned out honestly close to perfect, but there are a few things that were a little bit frustrating just when I looked at the finished product, and I had to really adjust my methods so that I can be 100% satisfied the next time. So the first thing that I wanted to touch upon are the directional placements of the spikes. Now, when it comes to strip lash looks like these, you want a very organized look, emulating a strip lash that you might see at the store or at like at a beauty store when you put on falsies. This is not a wispy set, it's not a textured set. Strip lash look is usually having very organized spikes, increasing or decreasing in size in respect to the set that you're going to be doing. And what I mean by set is, if someone's asking for doll eye, you're obviously going to increase the sizes from the inner corner to the middle and then decreasing back down when you're going to the outer corner, and cat eye would be gradually just getting larger until you get to the outer corner of the eye. So usually if people ask for the strip lash look, that is what I'm envisioning in my head in respect to a wispy textured look, which is quite different actually. So something I would change would be, like I said, the spikes. And what happens is that when you are applying spikes and the glue isn't curing at the rate that you want it to, sometimes they tend to dry in a direction that you don't want it to, and then it creates a little bit of a messy look. Now, from my experience, something I did notice is that sometimes when you finish a set right away, it might not look like the way you want it to, because you brush through the lashes and they're all going a certain way, and sometimes it might not fall the way you want it to. But as the client blinks and the lashes kind of, I guess, settle into their natural placement, the set can turn out to look a lot different and a lot cleaner later. And I've noticed this because I've done my friend's lashes in this style and this look, and then maybe an hour later I noticed that the spikes all settled in a very organized manner, not how it looked right after. So again, this client isn't someone who I am close to, so I don't know what it looked like when she went home. And to be honest with you, I am quite happy with the results of the spikes. However, on the left eye, I just feel like it could have been a little bit cleaner. I wish that the spikes were facing the way I wanted them to. The right eye is honestly perfect. It's what I was envisioning, and I wish I could have just done that with the other eye too. I think where I went wrong with the left eye was I wasn't waiting long enough for the spikes to cure all the way. So when I would go to isolate the other lashes, I'm obviously going to be pushing some of the spikes to go a certain way, and because the glue is not fully dried, it ends up drying in the direction that I pushed that spike to be when isolating another lash. something to combat this, you can use a nano mister, and that's something I would probably do in the future. Nano misters are used to help polymerize the adhesive in the cyanoacrylate a lot faster. This way your spikes can dry in the way that you want it to, and you know that that glue is cured, and you know that the glue is going to be going the base of the lash that you're applying, that part of the glue is going to be drying fast enough so that you can achieve the directional placement that you were looking for. Another thing I would do differently is probably surrounding each spike with more fans, but a lighter fan. So obviously this is a hybrid set, so I'm using a fan classic, and going about it that way throughout the entire eye. However, sometimes if I come up to a spike and there's two classic lashes next to it, or classic lashes around it, it doesn't support that spike as well as I want it to, especially if the lower layer of the lash below that one spike is a classic lash. You're not going to get that nice lifted support. I like to think of fans kind of like shelves. They are little shelves for the spikes, helping them be more prominent within the look. And so that's why some people do lash in layers. I prefer not to lash in layers. That's just for me and how I like to do extensions. But I mean, lashing in layers will definitely help you in the long run. It'll also help, I believe, with your timing. I've never compared them, but this is what I've just learned throughout lashing, that some people think that it will help with lashing speed, and I mean, I've never tried it, so I can't really say 100% it does or it won't, but I lash pretty fast anyway, so the way I go about it is the way I go about it. And so maybe in the future I will try to lash in layers just to get the shelf look, the shelf support of the fan with the spikes. So that's something I would do differently. And lastly, something I would also try to focus on is perhaps marking down the lengths of the spikes on the under eye pad. As you can see, I really tried to do that, but the pen I was using wasn't working properly. And I also find that sometimes I get a little bit even more confused and flustered when I write the mapping down on the under eye pad. I have no idea why I get confused or frustrated. I think it's because in my head I just gauge where I'm gonna place everything, and my sets usually turn out very symmetrical and the way that I want them to, even without mapping it out. I just map it out visually with my head. However, with the spikes, it's a little bit hard because I want the spikes to be symmetrical to the other side, and so if I'm lashing and going up in sizes and decreasing in sizes, I have to really keep in mind, like, okay, what base am I going to be using now? Is this going to be an 8mm that's going to have like a 12mm spike? And if I mess up and perhaps I might add like a 10mm spike without a 10mm fan without realizing it's a 12mm spike, the sets are going to look different. Now, I didn't do that though, so that's like a plus. I didn't mess up in that way, but it is something that I should keep in mind because it kind of delays my timing, especially if I'm trying to count the spikes. And in the beginning, you can kind of see me counting each spike, being like, okay, this one is 12, 13, 14, 15, and like I'm counting them to see which length I'm using for each size. So obviously that will delay a lot of my time, so I have to be more diligent about that. So that's something I would change as well. So those are some 3 things that I would change about this set, just critiquing my work. However, I am extremely happy with how it turned out in the end. She liked them a lot. Like, she told me she never had lashes that look like this, so that made me really happy. And to be honest with you, even though I want to change a few things, I think that the way I went about it was pretty good, and I'm really happy with the right eye. Again, like I said, the left eye could definitely have some improvements, but in no way, shape, or form was it bad, or do I think it was bad. But if you guys have any tips for strip lash looks, please let me know. I feel like I'm getting better at them for sure, but it is definitely still the one look that I'm trying to constantly improve, because I see some strip lash looks and they are so bomb and the spikes are going the way that the lash tech wanted them to, and I find it so satisfying to see. So if you guys have any types of tips, let me know. Another thing, sorry, before I end this off, is that I do think, in my own opinion, that using a volume set to create this look is a lot easier. Using fans all around help the spikes go in a certain way. So a lot of the times when I do into a hybrid set, that's usually when the spikes start to go in different directions. So I might create a totally different price for this, and that's something I've been really thinking about recently. So that's also something that you can keep in mind as well. Maybe add to your menu that this specific look will only create fans, and if you want it lighter, you just probably won't lash every single eyelash to create more of like a hybrid look without having to add those classic lashes that make the spikes go in different directions. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned to the very end to see the final results. I was yeah, like I said, I was like pretty happy about it. I post every Sunday around 6:15. If you guys can follow my socials, it would mean so much to me. They are obviously, you can see, linked on the page, and they'll be also linked in the description box below. Leave a comment if you have any questions or even constructive criticism, and hit the like button if you feel like you learned something today. Thanks so much, guys, and I will see you next week. Bye!
Stuck in my head. Oh, how will this end? Everybody has their vices. I don't know what mine is. I need a break from the world.